All right, welcome back, Torque and Power family. Appreciate everyone checking in. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and that little notification thing. That'd be great if you guys like the content that we're bringing. And once again, we're gonna be talking about, this could be like a series now. I think we're gonna do a series. What I didn't know before I got into Harley-Davidson, right? Stuff that I wasn't told or I wasn't aware and the dealers didn't tell me and everything else, and what to expect down the road. So, and even stuff that I read out there, because I do a lot of research and read before I actually jump into anything, especially when spending money like what you do for these big bikes. But yeah, I think we'll continue the series of what I didn't know and what I know now and what I do it differently and so on and so forth. But this one's gonna be about paint. This one's gonna be about paint. I get a lot of questions when it comes to paint. I have two Denim bikes, right? That's what Harley calls their flat paint, is this Denim. And they call it the Denim because if you ever go to try to polish it or rub it or anything like that, it's actually gonna have a shiny look just like you would on your denim jeans. So that's why they call that Denim paint, in case anyone didn't know. But otherwise it's matte in any other world. But we know Harley, they always got the freaking coolest names when it comes to stuff, right? I love to be in their department just naming stuff because they always got the coolest names. So Denim paint is what they call it. Indians got a name too, suede. Suede is what they call it. But for Harley, it's Denim. But I have two bikes in it. I have the Street Glide Special that you guys have seen before in the other videos of 2018. And then I also have the 2017 V-Rod Muscle in the Denim as well. So one's in a white and one's in the blue. And then the other bikes are all gloss. So everything back there from the Fat Boy S to the Kawasaki and the Honda, those are all gloss. And actually every bike that I've had before has always been gloss. And if you guys are keeping up with this series, if you guys are curious, the garage is slowly coming along more. I'll give you guys a little spin. Now, got a few more boards up there. So slowly coming along. Actually, by the end of this week, I imagine that is all gonna be finished, and then it's just gonna be a little bit waiting on the black diamond stuff to come in. But there you go, a little prelude of what's gonna happen in the future. But anyways, back to the paint. I always get a lot of questions. I always get a lot of people come up to me, what do I think of the Denim paint? They always like the blue, certainly the Legend blue that's on the Street Glide. They always like it, they always think it's really cool, but then they're always curious of what it takes. Is there a lot of work to it? Does it hold up? How is it compared to the gloss? I wasn't aware of this, of how it kind of went with it. Some of the care and that you have to have with the paint. Would I do it again? What have I learned from it? What makes it different from the gloss? You know, it's gonna be stuff like that. So, you know, when you're making a big purchase like this, you know, it's a big expensive bike, clearly you wanna know. And I think Harley's really been cutting back on the Denim paints because they're kind of doing that rewire program, right? Kind of going back to basics, and gloss certainly is one of the basics. If you go to look at the paint from a few years ago, they almost had like, what, 1/3 of them were Denim paints, or at least 1/4 were Denim paints. Now it's like, oh my gosh, there's barely even any that are Denim paints at all. So if Denim is something you're interested in, this is definitely for you. So I'm gonna cover the two bases, maybe kind of a little short and sweet video on it. I'm gonna set you guys down and we're gonna hit it. We're gonna get over it. All right, so we're back, sandwiched between the two bikes. And we'll go from here on what we're gonna be talking about, which is the paint on both these guys. I think before I said rewire plan for Harley, it's hardwire plan is what it is now. It was rewire, now it's hardware, so a little bit of a correction there, but back to the paint. So I'm in between the two Denim bikes, and I thought this would just be a good thing to cover because I think a lot of people really don't know. And why would you pull the trigger on paint that you're a little bit unsure about? And I think this paint too, it's kind of a little bit of a love or hate relationship. Whenever you get people who see the black Denim paint, or the gray, people immediately think it's primer. And you get a lot of crap from people who are just full on gloss paint. And I am not knocking gloss paint. I have gloss paint. I think gloss is beautiful. But you certainly get people right away because I think it's something different. Whatever, you just don't like it. It's cool. Whatever, you don't have to like it. But people immediately think it's primer and it doesn't have a clear coat on it and everything else. So therefore, you know, it's out in their minds. But for those of you who are interested in it, hopefully this kind of helps you out and gives you a little bit of insight. So between the two, okay, so cleaning, right? Cleaning's always number one when it comes to cleaning these bikes. Every time I've gone on any trip, any tour, anything with people, every time I come out of the hotel room, and I'm one of them, ready to go, I'm early, I like to have my bike clean so I'm ready for the day, right? Usually it's a ton of bugs from the night before, or I do it the night before, but everyone's out there cleaning the bikes, right? They're getting the chrome nice, they're getting the black nice and clean, whatever it may be. So keeping these bikes clean obviously is a big thing. People do look at these as show pieces and they do love them. Harley owners do love their bikes, which is great. So what's easier to clean? Is it the gloss over there on the Fat Boy S, or is it the denim? Well, got both, so I'm going to tell you, it's the denim. The denim is just that much easier. You need one thing when you clean the denim paint, and this is Harley's brand. You don't have to use that, but they have a denim cleaner, and from what I understand, it's basically like Windex, but it's not that expensive, and it actually lasts a whole season for me, one of these guys, if I don't give it like a full-on bath at home, right? But if I'm out and about or on a trip or something like that, this is it. Denim cleaner. You spray it on, you wipe it with the cloth, that's it. That's it. Because you don't have that gloss, you don't have that clear coat, so it doesn't show any of those fine lines when you go to clean something like that, right? You don't have to worry about that when it comes to this denim paint. This thing takes everything off. The bugs, the grime, name it, everything. Now I wouldn't go hardcore if it had like a whole load of junk and tar and stuff like that on it, of course, but as far as like your regular kind of clean job and bath for these bikes, this does it when you're on the road. You're at home, you can do the whole soap and water and the whole thing and clean everything however you want, but it's that easy to maintain this paint. That is it. That is it. Now, I understand on the gloss, right, you can sit there and you can clean it, you can wipe it down, the same deal. But the thing that you have to watch on gloss paint, and maybe you don't care, but the clear coat does get like those little spider webby lines on them. And that gets annoying when you see it in the sun and you see all the swirl marks on it. That stinks. So I definitely give a point to denim paint when it comes to ease of cleaning. It is really, 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 really simple. And it looks good. You know, there's metallic flake in these paints too. This has a metallic flake in it. So does the crushed ice over here on the V-Rod. It does have that metallic paint as well. So I definitely give it a plus on that. Where it's dirty, I'm sorry, all the sawdust in here from me cutting the boards and stuff, but anyways, back to the gloss. The gloss really has an advantage is when it comes to if you have any kind of scuffs or anything like that. If you have denim paint and you scuff it at all, right? If you're one of those people that, you know, you're throwing your boot over all the time, right? Or your shoe or whatever it may be, over the saddle, you got the chance of hitting the saddlebags, you got a chance of hitting the fender on the back of this bike, you'll scuff it like that. Like that, you'll scuff it. And that's it. That scuff is permanent. Just a scuff, it's permanent. It's there. Unless you want to go get it repainted, and that's not a big deal. There's plenty of places that know how to repaint it, but obviously you're going to be shelling out the cash when it comes to that stuff. So if you scuff it at all, it's there. It's there. You're going to have like a shiny mark or something like that. It's not going to be so much the color of your boot or whatever it is that you hit it with, but it's going to be a scuff and a shiny spot, and you're going to see that on the paint. And if you're like me, once you hone in on it, that's it. Like you're all in on it, right? So denim paint has that setback, and even when you're up here, right, and a lot of people like to clamp the tank with their knees and stuff like that. I don't. I like to spread out. But it's the same thing. You'll get shiny marks. You'll get shiny marks from like your jeans or stuff like that. If that's not a big thing to you, fine, whatever, it's cool. That's the whole idea why it's called denim paint, because you'll have an original paint set that's for you by the time you're done if putting on all those little shiny spots over the years, which is cool. That's a badge of honor. I think that's awesome when people do have that stuff. It's a badge of honor, and that's, you know, all the different trips that you rode on. But if that is something that does bother you, denim paint might not be for you, because it will scuff, it will scratch, whatever. And once it's there, like I said, that is it. It is not coming out. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because when you talk gloss paint over there, you know there's a million different polishers and buffers and everything else that you can do to that paint, because it has X amount of clear coat on it, that you can take that down a little bit and make it look pristine all over again. Now, you're not going to get away on a gloss paint if it's a deep gouge, right? You're still going to see the marks. So there's no question about that. Whether it's denim or whether it's gloss, you're going to have that problem. But on the gloss, if it's a mild scratch, or if it's something, like I said, like it's a scuff or whatever it may be, you most likely can buff that out, or at least to the point where it doesn't even look like it's even there, right? Or it's so minor and minute. Denim paint, no way. You do touch it with, like I said, with anything, it's going to scuff. So whether it's, you know, you got your, you know, your tour bag on here, and you have your luggage and the strap is touching it, you're going to see a mark. On those guys or not, and if you do, you certainly can polish them out. So huge plus when it comes to the gloss, if that's your thing. But the only other stuff that, you know, I would really say about it is, you know, it isn't like the paint. If you have to do something about it, it's more expensive one way or the other. I will say touch-up paint. If you want touch-up paint, you can do it on the gloss, but you're not going to be doing it on the denim paint. You can get this coat of Legend Blue, but it's going to come shine because you don't have the mixture in there to make it denim. So if you want to touch up little things, which is fine, you probably will barely even see it, it will be shiny. But again, like if it's small little things, like it would be tough for you to actually see it. On the gloss, obviously they make up the touch-up pens and all that stuff. It's really easy to touch it up, and the paint will be exact. But on the denim, you go to do touch-up, you're not going to get this matte finish, right, that you have from Harley. Another thing I would say is probably if you ever get the gloss painted, anyone can do it. It's not hard to go any kind of body shop or this or that. If you ever have to do anything with this, and which I have, but additional pieces like this CVO fender I had added on, right? So it doesn't come in the Legend Blue denim, so I had it painted. So there's a couple paint shops. CPV happens to be one of them. Big shout out to CPV. They're awesome. They're in Wisconsin, in Franksville, I want to say. Great people to work with. They actually do a lot of the Harley paint. And they do an amazing job. They've done a lot of their different special paint sets and stuff like that. So CPV, they just do a real kick-ass job, honestly. But they can match it. Not every body shop can match it and blend it to do it. I know some have tried. I've seen it in person. It doesn't always look the best. So you do have to go to a little bit of a special shop. Do I think it costs more than another one? Maybe. I mean, if you know someone that's, you know, close by that's your body shop, they might be less money if you need the gloss. But as far as that goes, yeah, I would say that's maybe a hit against the denim. For me, would I do it differently again? No, I wouldn't. The Fat Boy S, I thought it looked a lot better in gloss when it came to the denim, because all the other pieces were in gloss, so that's why that bike's in gloss. I think it looks great. I just thought these two bikes looked phenomenal in the denim paint. That's why I went with it. Yeah, I gotta watch it. I gotta be a little bit more careful with the bike. I really don't find it to be a hardship. Like I said, this bike's been to Sturgis several times, been to Daytona, it's been all over the place, and I haven't had any issues with it. So the paint's been fine. I'm sure I got some shiny marks here and there, but I try to keep up with keeping it clean and everything else, and same thing with the V-Rod. So I wouldn't be discouraged if I was you. If I was someone out there and you're thinking about denim paint, do it. I think it looks cool. It certainly is a unique look to it. I think it's coming on more because you see Indian and everyone else is doing it as well, even though Harley's cutting back on it. But it is becoming a little bit of more the norms, especially when they do more of these regular colors like the blues, not so much the grays and the blacks that do tend to make people think like it's a primer. So yeah, so I thought we made a quick short little video about that. Again, another little chapter in my what I didn't know when it came to paints and stuff like that for Harley, of the care and the upkeep. But like I said, this paint, easier to upkeep, really easy to keep clean, everything else, as long as you're careful with it. Gloss paint, a little bit more effort that goes into it, But in turn, you can polish and do other stuff if you really want it to be perfect and not mess with the clear coat and stuff. You obviously have more options with that you don't have with this, that you don't want to also make all these little swirly marks all over it or shiny spots all over this bike. So there you guys go. I hope you guys like it. We're gonna have more videos coming down the way. I have a little bit more time, so I'm able to knock out some more videos. One of them we have coming up is gonna be stage 1 on this bike. I got stage 1, so make sure you guys kind of look out for that one. So I'm going to go over a whole review of what I think about the stage 1, since this guy has everything when it comes to the air filter, the header from Harley, the exhaust, the whole thing, the auto tuner and whatnot. And I'll be coming off shortly because it's going to get the 128 kit. But yeah, let you know what I think of the stage 1. Is it worth it? Is it worth putting all those goodies on from Harley? Maybe it is for you. Maybe it's not. But it'll be coming off this bike shortly. But look out for that video. Appreciate you guys all checking in. And we'll catch up soon. And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If there's something I didn't cover about the paint that you're curious about, either one of these guys, whether it's the gloss or the denim, gosh knows I've spent a lot of time with them. So hit me up below. If you guys have any questions or whatnot, I'm pretty diligent on getting back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon.